In this video, I'll be showing you how to go from something this small to something this large in the fastest method possible, and that is through fusion. Let me explain. This tree, as you can see, there is multiple trees together that as they grew older, they started fusing together and combined into one single tree. This is the fastest way possible. Of course, you can grow a tree in the ground and different methods, but through fusion, you can get a trunk as thick as you want with as many cuttings or trees that you may have. This works faster on ficus trees. This is a ficus benjamina, and as you can see, you can still see a little bit of the striations from the fusion. And if I wanted to, I can get this tree to thicken up even more by adding more trees around it, putting them together, wrapping them together with some raffia or wire. Eventually, these will fuse together into one tree. I'm going to go over this method with one of my other trees and explain further how you can start doing this technique yourself. Now this is a ficus microcarpa, and I'm going to explain the fusion project and fusion steps on how you can get started with fusing your own bonsai tree and making it as thick as you want it to be. Now for this tree, of course, I still want this to be a little bit thicker, but as you can see, this is pretty thin right here. So compared to the bottom of the tree to the top, this is fairly thin. So what I'll be doing here, this could be done different ways. I can either get a cutting from this tree and make sure that it roots and just put it next to it and make sure that I put them together. Eventually they will fuse together and get better. But in this situation, I'm letting all this grow, all this right here, okay? So what I'll be doing, I'm going to tie them together. And of course, removing the leaves on this side because you don't want the growth to be in the way. So I'll be tying them all together, okay? Tying them all together, just kind of moving them a little bit. And that's going to allow, as this thickens up, as this thickens up, as this thickens up, all are going to fuse together and create a thicker trunk faster. There is a method that usually, you let this top grow like crazy, and this allows for this to thicken up. But even that is not as fast as this method. So that's why I'm letting all this growth get, crazy, because I'm about to put them all together. This back here, there is this large one right here, which I'm letting it grow. I'm also going to start fusing it. So I'm going to kind of tie it down in this manner, where as it grows, it's going to create a branch this way, and as this thickens up, it's going to create that lower part even thicker, as well as this guy right here. Okay, so let's get started with that. The first thing I want to do is to remove the leaves that are on the side of where I want that to fuse. Again, because when you have something that you're trying to fuse, you put them together. If there's leaves in between, that growth won't really allow that fusion to happen. So you want nothing on this side, nothing on this side, and just put them together. You don't have to strip off the bark. You just need to have them together, not too tight. Try not to use wire because that wire is going to leave wire marks. You want to use raffia. So this is messy, but this is the raffia that I'm referring to. As you can see, you can just buy it at any craft store, Amazon, and whatever. Just search for raffia, and that's pretty much what you need. So let's get started. There's a lot of growth in this side, so I just want to get rid of some of that. There you go. And this side has some leaves that I want to remove. There you go. As you can see, this side is completely ready. to be fused together with this. And you want to make sure that if you're doing something like this, you want to leave the tips, because that's going to elongate. And the more elongated it is, the more thickening you get on each branch, depending on the size that you want it to be. So this is what I'm going to do, just a little closer to the tree. As you can see, this branch goes all the way down, so I'm going to tie it right there. I'm going to bring this one as well, tie it down right about there, as close as I can with the raffia. Same here on this, okay, and so on. This one, and then this big branch back here. It's a little too large for me to be able to bend it as much as I would like it to, but I'm still gonna try to just to bend it as much as possible, okay, without breaking it. So I should be able to get a good amount of bending, and as it thickens up, it's going to fill out those gaps. And as you can see, I was able to tie them. This one here too, there's still a little bit of a gap. I don't know if you can see that, but eventually as this thickens up, it's going to completely fuse with this trunk. I just gotta get one more raffia to wrap around the top part to make sure that everything grows, because otherwise it's gonna fuse towards the bottom and then just open up at the top. So that's what I'm going to do. So I added the raffia throughout the whole trunk line, and again, as this thickens up, it's going to fuse together, and you have more chances of getting a thicker trunk because now we're just not waiting for the main one to thicken up, but all the ones that we put around it should be thickening up individually, creating a thicker, faster trunk. And now I'm going to work on the last one, which is the back one. This one I am going to possibly wire or add a little pin to hold it in place, and then add the wire to create movement. So this is the fastest way of creating a thicker trunk on a bonsai. Again, there's no such thing as within days. This is going to take weeks, months, but it's definitely way faster than just putting up a tree on a bigger container or planting it in the ground. Of course, those are pretty good methods, but nothing beats the fusion method, and you can get a tree as thick as you want it as long as you have the right cuttings. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you learned something and you give this a try with your tree. Please subscribe, that really means a lot. Share, and you have an amazing weekend.